This is the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
I'm Stephen A. Up, everybody. Welcome to the latest edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show, coming at you as I love to do every weekday over the airwaves of ESPN Radio, 250 plus markets across the United States of America, plus ESPN Radio on Sirius XM Channel 80. Got a lot of stuff to get into today. Got a draft that's taking place in about 48 hours or so, a little over 48 hours or so. The New York Knicks have the 9th pick overall. The Clippers, the Los Angeles Clippers, have the 12th and the 13th pick overall. The Los Angeles Lakers, I believe their pick is like 25th. Okay, so it's going to be real interesting talking about them, who they should draft. Got some dude, Kevin Hooter, or whatever the hell his name is, out of Maryland. Some 6'7" shooter that, according to my man, Broderick Turner, does a great job for the LA Times. He's projecting that that's who the Lakers are going to take with the 25th pick. Whereas the New York Knicks at number 9 overall, Mikal Bridges, because the person that they probably want, Michael Porter Jr., who was on Will Cain's show on ESPN Radio yesterday. This guy is expected to be drafted 8th overall by the Cleveland Cavaliers. We shall see. We shall see. We got that to get into today. Reggie Miller shooting down the Knicks free agent prospects. I'll get into that a little bit later as the show progresses. Of course, the Giants, Saquon Barkley, to appear in ESPN's The Magazine's annual body issue. I got something to talk to y'all about that when it comes to the body issue. Some of these dudes in ESPN, The Magazine. I just got something to talk about that. But I got something to say about that. Just brace yourself, okay? I won't bring that up just yet. But brace yourself for what I'm going to say about that damn issue. That ESPN The Body issue. Okay? Let me just point that out. And of course, Gennady Golovkin agreeing to fight Canelo Alvarez. LA Times wrote an interesting story about that today. I'm definitely going to talk Lance Pugmire from the LA Times. He wrote an interesting story about that today. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on the show. Plus, Errol Spence Jr., IBF welterweight champion of the world. He'll be on with us in hour number 2. So we got a lot to get into, no doubt about that. Looking forward to having those conversations right here with Stephen A. on Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio. First order of business, however, is news emanating out of Houston, which is news to some of you, ain't news to me. According to our very own Adrian Wojnarowski, Chris Paul is planning on staying in Houston. Obviously, Adrian Wojnarowski knows what he's talking about. It's something I said for weeks now. Something I said a few days ago. And obviously, when you think about Chris Paul, it is what it is. The reality of the situation is clear. Chris Paul isn't expecting to go anywhere because Chris Paul is incredibly happy in Houston. No state income taxes in Texas. That means in the city of Houston, Texas, you ain't got to pay no state income tax. You're talking about, what is it, anywhere from an 8 to a 12% jump on your income, your take-home income. I think that matters. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but it would matter to me. Make no mistake about it. I get to bring that extra money home. That means a lot to me. And I'm quite sure it means a lot to Chris Paul. So we got to throw that out the way and appreciate that for what it is and just move forward in that regard. But we'll take this a step further. And we'll take it a step further from the standpoint that Chris Paul wants to stay in Houston. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all might think about the $150 to $200 million that Houston's going to have to pay him. You might ask yourself, at 32 years of age and injury prone, particularly when it counts in the postseason, is he worth those dollars? That might be the angle that y'all are exploring. That might be the kind of thing that you're thinking about. And I'm not poo-pooing that. I'm not knocking that. I understand. Because at 32 years of age, coming off an injury, a hamstring injury, Game 5 of that Western Conference Finals, could have happened to anybody, but seems to happen to him at the most inopportune of times. Since he's not getting any younger, since this is a thoroughbred league, since you have individuals in this league that are younger, more spry, can run up and down the court, plus they're taller, they're longer, you got to wonder, okay, what kind of money should Houston give CP3? Let me be the first to tell you. There's not a debate in this fight. You got to pay CP3 whatever Houston agreed to pay him when he agreed to come to Houston last year from L.A. That's what the hell you got to pay CP3. It's just that simple. Because there's nothing that CP3 did that would discourage you from trading him based on what you saw from the Houston Rockets this year. Best record in basketball, home court advantage, when he was on the court together with James Harden and Clint Capella, I think their record was like 51-3. They went to the conference finals. They had a 3-2 lead on Golden State, the reigning defending NBA champions, before Chris Paul went down, which to me elevates his value, not diminishes or compromises it. Now, obviously, there's reasons to have some level of trepidation because, my goodness, why do I want to pay you if all you're going to do is get hurt on me when it counts? But a hamstring pull could have happened to anybody, y'all. I was on the phone with Allen Iverson that day, the day of Game 6. I was on the phone with Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson said, look, man, Chris Paul ain't coming back. So what are you talking about? I said, he won't be back for Game 6, but Game 7. He said, my man, Chris Paul ain't coming back. He said that injury itself is a minimum of 2 to 3 weeks. Minimum. He ain't coming back in a couple of days, Stephen A. It ain't happening. And sure enough, Allen Iverson, basketball analyst wannabe, evidently. He was right. He was right. But again, that's the story to everybody else. Let me tell you what the story is to me. How Chris Paul is more interested in Houston than he is in L.A. or New York. How LeBron James is more interested arguably in Cleveland or Philly than he is in New York. How Paul George, New York ain't even crossed his mind. See, these are the kind of things I'm paying attention to because when I think about the media capital of the world, or the penultimate media capital of the world, which is second. Well, I shouldn't say penultimate because second, that means second to last. And I didn't mean that. I'm talking about second. In second place. That would happen to be the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California. And when I think about LA and I think about New York and I think about the fact that the superstars are salivating at the opportunity to come here, this is a problem. It's a problem. Now, the New York Knicks case is very depressing. Because they stink. And I'm talking record-wise. Me personally, I like a lot of people within the organization. I happen to like Steve Mills. And I'm rooting for him. I happen to like and respect Scott Perry and his resume a great deal. And I'm rooting for him. James Dolan, James Dolan is a billionaire who cuts the check. But my knock with James Dolan is I think somehow, some way, business gets in the way of basketball matters and compromises the New York Knicks franchise. Anybody can act like they don't know. It's a lie. New York Knicks can sit up there and talk all they want to. It's a lie. I'm not sitting there talking about it's a heavy hand and business is interfering with basketball. But the specter of all things, Cablevision, Madison Square Garden, etc., gets in the way to some degree of what you want to do basketball-wise. Because there's too many hands in the cookie jar, always interfering with something. And I definitely, at least that's what I've always heard. And I'm giving credit to that and credence to that because I don't want to believe that just one particular owner happens to be so inept that he's contaminated this franchise like a damn virus and nothing is good is going to come of it. I don't want to believe that about James Dolan. So instead, I'm going to take the nicer approach, Jonathan Winthrop, my producer extraordinaire, who gets along great with the Knicks. God bless you. Okay? I'm going to take the lighter side of it all. And I'm going to say, you know what? It's not James Dolan. Because we all know how sensitive they are when it comes to criticism of James Dolan, i.e., Charles Oakley. We all know how sensitive they are with criticism of James Dolan. So we don't want to do that. Never that. Never that. So instead what we will do is we will sit up there and say, no, it's the heavy hand of Madison Square Garden. Because that way, John, you're not personalizing it, okay? You're talking about the institution of Madison Square Garden as opposed to one man. I'm sure he can understand that. That's neither here nor there. The point is that he represents New York. Stinks. The Brooklyn Nets, they ain't relevant past Atlantic Avenue. They're just not. They're just not. The only thing synonymous with the Nets and the Barclays Center is Atlantic Avenue, Junior's Cafe, soul food spot extraordinaire, going to the Barclays Center, and traffic. That's it. It's nothing synonymous. There's nothing to write home about going to Brooklyn. So in the media capital of the world, where basketball resonated profoundly, you don't really have a professional basketball team to really lean on and be proud of. Now we go to L.A. Ladies and gentlemen, at least I'm able to look at Steve Ballmer, who's still depressed from losing CP3 from what I understand. At least I'm able to look at him and say, you know something? He brought in Jerry West. You still got Doc Rivers. Still got Doc Rivers. You got Jerry West. You got the 12th and the 13th pick in the draft. You still got DeAndre Jordan. And you can make some moves that can facilitate you getting a couple of dudes. I mean, I find it a bit suspicious that the Clippers have just been flying under the radar. I know Jerry West. He's always up to something. I don't underestimate Jerry West, a basketball savant if ever there was one. A man that I must confess I've come to genuinely like. I mean, I cannot emphasize to y'all enough on a few occasions that I've been fortunate enough to talk to Jerry West just about basketball. It's been an extreme honor. The man is 80 years old. First of all, we all wish we should be looking that good at age 80. I mean, I've gotten to know his son a little bit. Used to work with the Lakers. Now he's in Golden State. I got news for you. Yeah, there's Daddy, and then there's his son. But Daddy probably look almost as damn good as his son. Jerry West is a good-looking man. I mean, I got to admit to you, I hope I look like that when I'm 80. First of all, one thing is clear. I won't have nearly as much hair as him. I have no shot at that. I mean, I already got less hair than him. But Jerry West is a basketball savant, in all seriousness, and you know he's plotting something. And Doc Rivers knows a thing or two about basketball as well. He is a champion after all. You know he's plotting something. And Steve Ballmer has got bucks the Lakers could only dream of having. Even though they all have to play relatively the same. Which brings me to the Lakers. Regurgitating and reiterating the same point, and I'm going to stay on it until all of free agency is over. Magic Johnson has got to deliver. To be the Lakers, to have that tradition, to have the purple and gold as your backdrop, to be the star-studded franchise that you are, and to literally and legitimately have a shot at two of those stars, and a third basically has asked to be traded to you. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't come up empty. And by the way, as an aside, I apologize. I know that James Dolan and MSG, they sold Cablevision. I apologize for that. Just forgot to mention that. They sold Cablevision. So I shouldn't say Cablevision. But I got to tell you something. Your Magic, you got to figure out a way. I mean, and I just want y'all out there who love basketball, who pay attention to history and tradition, who knows the allure of the Lakers, who knows the greatness of Irvin Magic Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want y'all, especially folks in LA, I just want y'all to think about this for a second, because this is very, very important. I want you to take a deep breath. I want you to take a sip of some natural spring water. And I want you to close your eyes and think about this. We are talking about the Lakers. Laker Nation. That purple and gold. 16 championship banners hanging from the rafters. Statues all outside of the Staples Center. Jerry West and Shaq. Kobe's going to be next. And Kareem, Magic. Even Oscar De La Hoya has a statue out there. Chick Hearn, the famed announcer for the Lakers, got a statue out there. I don't know if there's any room for the damn statues they could put out there. This is star-studded stuff. These are the Lakers. And it's a free agent summer. And you haven't made the playoffs in 5 years. and Irvin Magic Johnson had $70 million in cap space, enough to bring on board 2 max players, while at the same time you got the sunshine and the palm trees and everything from LA Live to Venice Beach to Melrose to La Brea, Wilshire, Rodeo Drive. I mean, they got it all. And you come up with nothing. Can you imagine how that's going to look? Because you know what everybody's thinking, right? See, if this were Jim Buss, we'd expect nothing. Other than to find him at Hooters, we'd expect nothing. We wouldn't expect anything from Jim Buss. But if we look at the Lakers and you hear the name Irvin Magic Johnson, and he's the one that makes the decision and he makes the call, and he's the one with the license to go out there and recruit, and he comes back with nothing. Do y'all understand the magnitude of that? Do you understand how that would demoralize Laker Nation? I gotta admit to you, I'm scared. I'm scared if that happened. I'm rooting for my man Magic Johnson. Well, let me stop lying. I'm rooting for myself too. Where the hell you think I want to be? So understand, there's a lot at stake. And we got to see what he's going to do. LeBron, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, in my estimation, Magic's held it down if he gets 1. He succeeded if he gets 2. If he pulls off the trifecta, he's the Magic Man. If he ends up with nothing, the pressure doesn't begin to describe the state of affairs associated with Laker Nation. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. That's just one item I want to get into. Another item I want to get into is Jay-Z connecting with Puma. Look, y'all, Puma's been out of the game for a while. They were there in the 70s. They just signed Walt Clyde Frazier to a lifetime contract because he was their first signature brand signee back in the 70s when he was a member of the Knicks, bringing a championship to New York. Little did we know that would be the last time. I'm 50. Ladies and gentlemen, at that time, I was 5 years old. 5. That's how long ago it was that the New York Knicks have given me a reason to celebrate. But I digress. My point is, Clyde Frazier was their original brand representative, essentially. And now Puma's trying to get back into the game with the basketball shoes and beyond. They signed him to a lifetime contract. They signed Jay-Z on board as their creative director. And everybody thinks that Jay-Z is going to change the game. I hope he does. I root for my brother. But I'm reluctant to believe that that's going to occur. I think that Jay-Z will bring attention to the Puma brand. They'll be great when it comes to the hip-hop industry. But when it comes to actual basketball shoes, particularly being worn by 7-foot, 250-plus pounders like DeAndre Ayton and Mo Bamba, I'm not so sure. I'm just of the mindset, not that Mo Bamba's with Puma, was with Puma. I think it's DeAndre Ayton. Is it Mo Bamba? I think it's DeAndre Ayton. It's Zaire Smith and Bagley, and Marvin Bagley out of Duke. I don't know if they're going to wear Pumas on the basketball court. They might wear it to style and profile while they're hanging out. I don't know if they're going to wear it on the basketball court. So it's going to be real interesting to see what Jay-Z is able to pull off with that. I don't think that, Puma's in the same family as Adidas. Nike's king. I just don't know what to expect. I don't know what to assume about these boys. Time will tell. I'll have to wait and see. More of the Stephen A. Smith Show on ESPN Radio. Your calls on NBA free agency, on pressure on Magic Johnson, on CP3 staying in Houston. What's he going to be able to do there? And, of course, Jay-Z and Puma. You're listening live to Stephen A. on ESPN Radio.
Everyone in the neighborhood knew about Bobby. Bobby, the basketball boy, they called him. Bobby wanted to go pro someday, so he was always out in the driveway shooting hoops. But one day, his mom came out and told him, "Hey, your wife wants you to take out the trash." His mom was visiting, and Bobby was a grown man. He had kind of missed his window. Plus, no one had ever seen him actually make a basket. But on the other hand, Bobby had heard how Geico could save him money on car insurance, so he switched and saved. So it was all good.
You're listening to the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
To the phones we go at 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. Sal in Brooklyn, you're live with Stephen A. Talk to me.
Hey, Stephen. Thanks for taking my call.
Go ahead.
My question was about the Knicks. Do you see them moving up in the draft at all and targeting a certain player?
Nope, because I don't think they have any assets to move up in the draft.
Do you think they would trade down then? Maybe pick up some assets?
Again, you're asking, what's the asset? What do you give? What do the Knicks have to give up to get anything? That's the question you consistently have to ask yourself. What do the New York Knicks have to give up in order to get anything? When you can answer that question, I mean, look, Enes Kanter? I mean, is that where you want to go with this?
A high salary?
How about Joakim Noah, who's owed almost $38 million over the next 2 years guaranteed? How about that?
Nobody would take Noah.
Okay. Tim Hardaway Jr. I mean, $37 million before he's got an $18 million option. All right. In the last year of his deal, which is more than 2 years from now. What you got?
They don't have much. I was just asking to maybe take that number 9 pick and maybe get.
Let me tell you what the Knicks' only hope is right now. They better hope and pray Kristaps Porzingis comes back healthy at some point next season. So the summer of 2019, you're able to look at him and say, look at who we have for you to play with, to a marquee free agent out there. That's the New York Knicks' hope right now. And they got to draft well. I mean, right now, this guy, Michael Bridges, all right, that they're talking about grabbing. I mean, you know, he's a possibility. You got to hope that whatever young pick that you grab onto, that they have some promise and they show some promise. Because if you don't have that going for you, what do you have? Kid out of Villanova, he can play. Trae
Young, how long do you give him? A couple of years before the comparison?
Me personally, if I'm the New York Knicks, I take this kid Sexton out of Alabama or Trae Young. I think Trae Young has the potential to listen, is he going to be another Steph Curry? I'm not going to go that far. But I do think that he has the potential. He truly, truly has the potential to light up the Garden because he can shoot long range. And he's a constant threat in that regard. And I think that helps them. And he's a box office attraction. You average 28 in college basketball. I can't ignore that. I got to give you credit where credit is due in that regard. But there were times where I looked at him and I said, he's not that great yet. All right? Appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much. Devin in L.A., you're live with Stephen A. Talk to me.
Stephen A. freaking Smith, dude, it's such an honor and a pleasure to speak with you, man. It's an honor, man.
Thank you.
No, thank you, brother. I swear I appreciate you. It's such an honor. 3 quick names I want to mention to you.
Okay.
Dr. Jerry West, and the man who lured LeBron out of Cleveland the first time, Pat Riley.
Okay.
All 3 of those men, Magic Johnson, he learned from the best, man. And I think if anybody could do it, the Magic Man can.
So do I.
Setting up perfect for L.A.
So do I.
We couldn't even get an interview or a meeting with none of these boys 2-3 years ago. We couldn't even get a meeting. So it's a pleasure and an honor for us to even be in the conversation.
Well, stop right there. You're right. But you know and I know that ain't going to be enough when it comes to Magic Johnson. The expectations are much, much higher.
I understand, but back then now we have pieces. You know what I'm saying? We have a future. It's the proof's in the pudding. If we even get mentioned in guys even looking at the Lakers. I remember we couldn't even get a look from none of these boys, and I think he can land Paul George and LeBron in free agency. In all sincerity, I don't think we'll get Kawhi. If we do get him, it's going to be through some type of trade. I just can't see any other team renting him, man.
So right now, you think that LeBron and Paul George are coming to L.A.?
No doubt, man. You know how they did it in Miami.
Let me ask you this question, Devin. What if it doesn't happen? How you going to feel?
Well, I'll tell you what, like I said, man, expectations are where they need to be. All I want to say is the young pieces, man, even if it doesn't go through with PG or LeBron, which I doubt. But the girls basically telling you, call me, let's hang out. They done basically said that, man. But all I'm saying is our young pieces, we got some nice young pieces now. Brandon Ingram ain't a scrub. You know, he's got some game. Julius Randle, I mean, people are just forgetting, not even talking about this kid, man. He is a bull. He is coming.
I got you. You just sound a little bit too emotional. You and I both know this team is young. You and I both know that Lonzo Ball, let's face reality, man. I mean, when is LA going to wake up and acknowledge that Lonzo Ball disappointed folks? I'm not saying he was awful. Please don't get me wrong. But when you saw what you saw in Jason Tatum, you and I know good and damn well Lonzo Ball was picked for business reasons. He was box office. Okay,
but his dad is a hell of a salesman.
That's right. Yeah. But listen, how that make you feel? I mean, we understand that his dad is a hell of a salesman. We get all that. But how that make you feel as a Laker fan? Come on now. I mean, we're gonna be real. We're going to be real about it. Let's be real about it.
Listen, Stephen A., just because he didn't pan out this year, his father put a tremendous amount of expectations on him. He's a 2-3 year project.
Okay.
Blank period.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But like I said, you act like even if they got no one, you're going to be totally cool with that. And I'm saying that's pretty dicey. That's all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say. But I appreciate the call, Devin. Appreciate the love. Keep it coming, my man. Let's go to Corey in South Carolina. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, Corey?
Hey, Stephen A. I called about a month ago asking if you have watched any film on Ray Spalding and see where he would get drafted at.
I did not. I apologize for that. I've been very, very busy, as you know, over these last few weeks covering the NBA playoffs and the finals, and I have not had an opportunity to look at this guy. My apologies.
Sir, I think he's going to be a superstar. You know, a lot of people sleep on the boys out of Louisville, and this will get Donovan Mitchell.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm going to ask around about him. I've got my sources in the NBA that have seen him. I can tell you that much. They'll tell me what I want to know about him. That much I can tell you. I appreciate the call, though, Corey. Thank you so much. Derek in Chicago, you're live with Stephen A. What's up, Derek?
Yo, what's up, Stephen A? I got two things for you.
Go ahead.
And all of this Kawhi, LeBron, and Paul George talk, which action do you expect to happen first? Do you think LeBron is sent back and waiting on Lakers to sign Paul George or for them to trade for Kawhi? Or do you think LeBron signs with the Lakers regardlessly?
I think that if LeBron's going to come to the Lakers, he's going to come to the Lakers regardless. I think Paul George is going to wait to see what LeBron does because Paul George has Oklahoma City backing up the Brink truck for him to give him those max dollars. And he's going to have to turn away that money and Russell Westbrook in order to go to L.A. And I think that if he ends up doing that, it's because he wants to be in L.A. But I think LeBron makes the decision easier for him to leave OKC.
Yeah, I agree.
If it's going to happen, it's because LeBron makes the decision easier for him to leave OKC. See, we can say what we want about Russell Westbrook. And Russell Westbrook might be temperamental. He might be a bit different and eccentric. But there's no doubt he's a superstar talent. He's an unstoppable force. And I've never seen anybody in better shape, maybe other than LeBron. I mean, this guy, Russell Westbrook, plays 100 miles an hour all the time. He's a superstar, man. And I hate seeing him go home in the first round. I really, really do. I want to see more. I definitely want to see more Russell Westbrook. But he ain't going to be able to do that without teammates. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, and my last thing, is there any hope for the Bulls in the draft and in free agency?
Hope for the Bulls?
Yeah, in the draft and to sign somebody.
I think when you're looking at the Chicago Bulls, you're thinking about next year. Let's just call it what it is, man. Chicago Bulls are not in a good place. I got a lot of questions about their leadership, to be quite honest with you. A lot of questions about where they are because, you expect more. And they're going to have some cap space next year. They only committed to about $60 million. I mean, and you got to remember, you got to do a couple of things, okay? This kid Markkanen can play. All right? But Zach LaVine, you got to make a decision about him. He's got a qualifying offer. He's looking for a contract extension. So you got to take care of him. You got to take, marketing is there for you. You got to decide how much money you want to spend on Zach LaVine so you can ensure how much money you're going to have next year and beyond. Because Zach LaVine can play. All right?
All right, thanks for taking my call.
All right, no problem. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. More of your calls on NBA free agency, on NFL, on Puma and Jay-Z in a minute. You're listening live to Stephen A. on ESPN Radio.
Guess what? You're in the middle of the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast. Damn it, I mean it!
Somewhere early in in hour number 2 of the Stephen A. Smith Show right here on ESPN Radio, we will have the IBF World Welterweight Champion, Errol Spence Jr. Definitely looking forward to talking to him. One other thing that I wanted to make sure I mentioned and brought up on the show that's going to be open for discussion. Civil rights organizations prodding the NFL to do away with its national anthem policy. Let me say this. I agree. I agree that that's exactly what the civil rights organization should be asking for, but not because of the civil rights organization's positions. Whether that's the Rainbow Coalition or the National Action Network with Al Sharpton, whomever it may be. It's not about that. You know what it's about? It's about the fact that this is futile. The policy is ill-fated. It's not going to work. Let me make sure I'm clear about my position. I am not an advocate of the NFL doing things unilaterally, not negotiating and partnering with their players' association and coming up with an agreement that works for both sides. I am not an advocate of unilateral decisions on the part of the NFL. However, there are times where desperate times call for desperate measures and things are a bit different. Here's what I mean. If you are the National Football League, okay, you're too late to the party. You were engaged in what Senator John McCain called paid patriotism. You were taking money from the Department of Defense in the millions to advertise and market the United States military, encouraging recruitment efforts and beyond. That's what you were doing. Well, the NBA was doing it too. Major League Baseball was doing it too. And guess what they did? They made sure they had a policy mandating that you stand for the national anthem. So there was never a controversy because you would automatically be in violation of rules that were already on the books. The reason why Colin Kaepernick had you dead to rights, the reason why Colin Kaepernick was such a problem is because he violated no laws. He violated no bylaws. So you being the National Football League, all you did was cave to pressure. That's all you did. You caved to pressure. And you caved to pressure because President Donald Trump opened his mouth. His constituency rallied by his side. You felt it was affecting your bottom line. And you said, my God, we've got to change this. Now, keep in mind, some of those big proponents on behalf of change and supporting Donald Trump's position, Jerry Jones, Dallas, McNair, Houston. That's Texas, ain't it? In the South. I'm just asking. My point to you is primarily this. Cat's out the bag. You now invoking a policy that calls for folks to come out of the locker room after the national anthem is being played. If you're going to take a knee during the national anthem, they're not going to allow that. So you got to stay in the locker room until you come out. Hell, everybody's going to get scrutinized because of that. Players, coaches, administrative officials, personnel. Ladies and gentlemen, do you realize that if I went to a game at MetLife Stadium, or at the LA Coliseum, and y'all saw even me, Stephen A. Smith, coming out of the locker room after the national anthem is being played, do you realize, you know how many idiot bloggers are out here desperate for clicks? Do you know how quick it's going to be national news? Look at Stephen A. He's walking out after the national anthem. Oh, my God. And I've never taken a knee during the national anthem. I would never do that. That's just not me. Because I think about our servicemen and women and how they would interpret such a thing. And sometimes it's not about the reality. It's about the perception. And I would pay attention to that perception, and I would find a bigger, more salient way to make my point. That would be me. Because when I shoot at something or someone, figuratively speaking, of course, I want to hit my target. I don't want to hit a different target. I want to hit the target I'm aiming for. Colin Kaepernick was aiming for society. He hit the NFL. If I'm aiming for society, I'm going to do something to hit society. That's what I'm saying. Anybody, if I came out of a locker room after the national anthem was being played, Nuno, Jonathan, if I came out of the locker room after the national anthem was being played, how much you want to make a bet within hours? Stephen A. came out of the locker room after the national anthem, and I'm just a media person. Oh, please. This is done. NFL done messed up. They need to eradicate the policy altogether. Get back to the table with the Players Association and come up with a joint decision. Hour number 2 with Errol Spence Jr. up next.
That's just a sample of what you'll hear on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. This is the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
I'm Stephen A. Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Stephen A. Smith Show here with you over the airwaves of ESPN Radio. And, of course, ESPN Radio on Sirius XM, Channel 80. Number to call up, as always, is 888-729-3776. That's 888-SAY-ESPN. Let me continue on the NFL with a discussion that's been on my mind. You know, I watched Tom Brady talk to Oprah Winfrey. And, you know, for me, here's my problem. And I'm going to break this down in simpler terms so everybody can understand it. You know, I do First Take every morning. First Take ESPN. Myself, Max Kellerman, Molly Kiram. It's on ESPN from 10 a.m. to noon Eastern, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific. And, you know, my position is clear. I think Tom Brady's getting a pass. See, when we think about Jimmy Garoppolo being traded away, from New England to San Francisco, positioned to get a $137.5 million contract over 5 years. When we look at him do that, we think Bill Belichick. We think the smart genius that is Bill Belichick giving away Jimmy Garoppolo for just a second-round pick. Oh, my God, look at what he had to do because, you know what, his hand was forced because, you know what, Bob Kraft, the owner, made Bill Belichick trade Garoppolo because, my God, he wants all his faith placed in Tom Brady. That's what everybody is quick to say. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel a little differently. The more I listen to Tom Brady talk, the more I see him as somebody just stabbing Bill Belichick in the back or in the chest, whatever way you want to call it. He's clearly not on the same page with Bill Belichick the way that he used to be. Tom Brady used to be all about football. Now he's about TB12. Now he's about his conditioning, his being an author, building a career beyond football. No crime against that, ladies and gentlemen. It's no crime. He's Tom Brady, damn it. Supermodel wife, good looks, great wardrobe, rocks the Tom Ford Blazers better than me. I don't say that about many people, but I give that up to him. Tom Brady's the man. But that does not mean that he should be absolved from what we have witnessed. I have dates here. Let's go down the list. May 15th, 2017. Tom Brady in an ESPN published interview states, quote, I always said in my mid-40s, and naturally that means around 45. If I get there and I still feel like I do today, I don't see why I wouldn't want to continue. That's what he said. May 15, 2017. It's right here. It's right here. Okay? Now, we fast forward to October 30th, 2017, after news is circulated that Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots were trying to re-up Jimmy Garoppolo. They failed to reach an extension. Why? Because Tom Brady still wants to play, and him and Jimmy Garoppolo have the same agent. So if anybody would know how long Tom Brady's intending to play, it would be Jimmy Garoppolo. Because he's looking to get paid too. You can't get paid if you don't play. Can't get paid if you're backing up Tom Brady, who's got the supermodel wife, the exceptional diet, the trainer that's off campus right across the street from Gillette Stadium, the TB12 book, and a fawning media that'll swear to you he sprayed perfume after he passed gas. That's Tom Brady. That's who we're talking about here. So this dude is fully aware that Jimmy Garoppolo is trying to negotiate a new deal because they have the same agent. And they're playing the same team. So why would he not know? And what does he do? He complains. He defends himself. He looks out for his future. Okay? Because I know I got a supermodel wife, but damn it, her millions ain't my millions. I mean, they are, but they're not. But they are. But they're not. But they are. Nevertheless, October 30th, 2017, New England Patriots trade Jimmy Garoppolo for just a second-round pick. Bill Belichick picks up the phone, tells Robert Kraft, this is what I want to do, this is what I'm going to do. Robert Kraft gives him the okay. Why? Because according to my sources, Robert Kraft only interferes with decisions made by Bill Belichick under one situation. Robert Kraft does not want individuals with a history of domestic violence on his roster. That is the taboo. We can build a championship team without dudes with a checkered past involving domestic violence. He'd prefer that there's no drugs or alcohol or any other kind of transgression, but he's a stickler on a domestic violence issue. You got a history with domestic violence. You ain't playing for the New England Patriots. Matter of fact, I was told the only time that Robert Kraft ever felt the need to step in with anything was a situation involving Bill Parcells and Terry Glenn, who I think has now passed away, God rest his soul. If I remember correctly, I think that was him. So my point is, outside of that, that's when Bill Parcells said, if you have to go and shop for the groceries, at least get a chance to pick out some of the items, whatever the words he used. Neither here nor there. Other than that, Bob Kraft doesn't interfere. So Garoppolo is gone. Brady stays. Brady's balling. Brady passes for 500 yards in the Super Bowl. And now what Brady's saying to Oprah of all people? Oprah. Well, I'm closer to retirement than I originally thought. So now here you are talking potential retirement sooner than later. Did you say that when Garoppolo was still on the roster? That's all I want to know. Did any of y'all hear that? No, did you hear that? How about you, Kat? What about you, Jonathan Winter? Did you hear Tom Brady allude to anything about retirement being sooner than later when Garoppolo was on the damn roster? Yes or no? So now here we go with this. Now we talking this stuff now. Now, here we are with the retirement talk. He's basically telling Bill Belichick, screw you. Give a damn how you feel, what you think. Yeah, it's my show now because you don't have that successor. And you can't get rid of me because guess what? I'm here and Garoppolo is gone. And not only is Tom Brady saying that, Because Garoppolo is gone, he has the audacity to be looking for an extension with more money in the process. I shouldn't say audacity. He is Tom Brady. He's a winner. He's a champion. None but mad respect for him. And I'm not even saying that he's wrong here, because who's to say that Bill Belichick doesn't deserve it? All I'm saying is, damn. Talk about being Captain Obvious. I mean, now is when you pick the time to get to bring up retirement talk to Oprah. Wasn't talking to us. Wasn't talking to the sports media. Oh, no. This is when he sat down with Oprah. Damn it, with the Senate, I don't know if it was in her backyard or yours. But you sitting down with Oprah, that's going worldwide. And that's what he did. I think it's a slap in the face to the organization. I think it's a slap in the face to Bill Belichick. Because you damn sure wasn't saying that when Garoppolo was there, which says to me, guess what, Tom Brady? You were worried about your future, and you played politics. Now, I ain't hating on it, because he ain't wrong. But this thing that he's above reproach and above playing those games, and he's all about football and just leaving it all out on the field, all of that goes out the damn window now. All of it. Period. In other words, Tom Brady smells just like the rest of us. It ain't perfume after all, it's gas. And sometimes his stinks too. Go figure. Go figure. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. This is one of the items that I want to bring up to you. You also heard my position. You also heard my position about the NFL national anthem. Just do away with policy. It's stupid. You can, if you're outside, you've got to stand. But if you're not going to stand, then stay in the locker room until the national anthem is over and then you come out. Really? That's just not smart. That brings attention to a whole bunch of people other than folks actually kneeling. But I'll get back to that in a little while. Right now, I got to talk to the man. I got to talk to the man who is the IBF welterweight champion of the world. Arguably one of the best pound-for-pound fighters on the planet. Actually, that's not in dispute, by the way. I'm talking the only issue that I have with my next guest. He doesn't realize this. I usually don't allow Cowboy fans on my show. But I'm going to make an exception for greatness. And that's Errol Spence Jr., who's on the line with me right now. What's going on, Big Tom? How are you doing, man?
Hey, what up? I'm doing good, man. Why you got to start with the Cowboys stuff already? Why we're not going to do this, man.
Look, Errol Spence Jr., why you on national television bragging about the fact that you're a Cowboys fan? I mean, what's up with that, man?
Man, that's America's team, man. Have some respect.
I mean, all I'm saying is this, man. You are a champion. You are a champion. You are one of the great ones. And your idol, the franchise that you idolize hasn't won a championship in 22 years and counting? What's going on? By the way, Errol, before I even go any further, how old are you?
28.
28. Oh, I was getting ready to say, you better not have been 21. I would have said that you ain't even alive when last time they won, but you at least, all right, you were a young kid. I got you. But listen, let me talk to you about your career right now, because I'm pretty impressed with what I see. I, like you, was very disappointed in your fight Saturday night. I expected Ocampo to get up and try to fight, but that wasn't what ended up happening. Talk to me about that fight and how disappointed you ended up feeling.
I was kind of disappointed just from the fans' point of view. You know, I wanted to show them a little bit more, but at the same time, you know, that was like a Mike Tyson, you know, type fight. You know, like they say, like a lot of older people walking the tours, like, man, it reminded me back in the Mike Tyson era when, you know, you get up to get the popcorn out the microwave, you come back and the fight's over with. So, you know, that was kind of good in a sense. And, you know, that's what people want to see. People want to see knockouts. People want to see, you know, great performance, and people get hurt, you know, sad to say. But, you know, it was a good performance. You know, I thought he was going to go a little bit more. I thought he was going to get up, but he couldn't get up. So I changed my name to the Body Snatcher.
Let me ask you this question. When you work so hard to prepare for a fight and it ends that quickly, do you think it has the potential to take anything away from you for future fights just because of the work you weren't allowed to get in because you made such quick work of the opponent?
I mean, it was bittersweet because, I mean, at the same time, I would have been happy with the knockout in the first round if I would have fought somewhere else instead of home because, I don't get paid for overtime, so, at all. So, I mean, if I'd have got him out of there and somewhere else, I would have been happy. But just the fact that I got him out at home in the first round, knocked him out, I kind of wanted to get the fans a little bit more, and I wanted them to see a little bit more. But everything happened for a reason, and that's what we train hard for. I stay focused, training 100-some-degree gym and training with Jamel Charlo, prepared me, basically to land that shot. So, land a perfect shot to the solar plex, and, it was over.
I'm glad you brought that up because I'm going to ask you about Charlo a little bit later on in this interview. But for right now, I'll stick with you from this perspective. Where do you think you are right now in terms for pound fighters in the world?
I'm definitely in the top 5, maybe top 3. I feel like, just my whole, performances throughout my whole career being 24-0 with 21 knockouts, and as my opposition rises, I'm still catching bodies. So, I definitely feel like, I'm top 3 pound for pound.
Errol Spence Jr. right here with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio. Now, you won this fight. Now, don't tell me just anybody, whoever's the best unifying the belts. I understand that comes with it. I totally get it. Not denying it. But my question to you more so than anything would be this. Is there a particular opponent at this moment in time that you want more than anybody else?
For me, the main fight that I want is the winner of Danny Garcia and Sean Porter.
Why that fight?
Because they're fighting for the WC belt.
Okay.
I mean, that's one of the belts I've been wanting. That's the most, prestigious belt out there, right now, the WC belt. So that's definitely a belt that I want. Definitely a belt I want to put on my resume. So right now it's that. And then after that, Keith Thurman, maybe when he comes back. But I already know what you're getting to. You're into Bud Crawford.
I was going to get into Crawford, but not before I got to Thurman, though, because I was shocked that you mentioned Garcia and Porter before Thurman, but I understand Thurman has been out of commission. I got to do my homework on him. I don't understand why the hell he's been gone so long. I mean, with you doing what you're doing and Crawford coming up and Garcia and Porter getting ready to fight, even though he beat Garcia by decision, I'm wondering what the hell is taking him so long to get back, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, he said he injured, so-called injured. I don't know. I just feel like he need to come back because he's fading in the background. I mean, before they were saying Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman was a super fight, and now, basically Terrence Crawford taking his spot. So, but as soon as he come back and then get a great knockout or have a great performance, people will put him back, in the lineup. So, a lot of people, live for the moment, so. As soon as he do something good and have a great performance, he'll be back there and they'll say, we want to see Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, and Keith Thurman fight.
Now, here you are bringing up Terrence Crawford before I did. All right, so let's go there right now. You saw his fight last week against Jeff Horn. What were your thoughts?
I thought he did what he's supposed to do. I even said it, a week before his fight on Twitter. I say, I got Terrence Crawford stopping him. I've never been impressed with Jeff Horn. And, just with Terrence Crawford's skill set and his ability in the ring and, me seeing him as as another great fighter, I feel like he did what he was supposed to do in dismantling Jeff Horn and stopping him.
All right. With that being said, what do you make of the fact that he came from 140 to 147? I was surprised from the standpoint that he was able to carry that power with him. I knew he'd have the speed. I didn't expect that he had the power. Maybe I misjudged Jeff Horn because of the Pacquiao win, but I'm looking at it from the standpoint that I look at somebody like Terrence Crawford, and I expected him to be perceived as too small for you, not strong enough for somebody like you. But if he's hurting welterweights, legitimate welterweights, maybe I should have a question mark about that, Errol Spence. Your thoughts?
He moved up well. Fighting Jeff Horn, I don't feel like. Jeff Horn tries to be a physical fighter, but I don't feel like Jeff Horn is that strong. I feel like I probably would have stopped Jeff Horn way earlier than that. So, he did what he's supposed to do. Congrats to him. He's very skilled. I got to see him again against another welterweight, but, that fight is definitely going to happen.
No, we're talking to Errol Spence Jr., IBF welterweight champion of the world, right here with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio. I was getting ready to say Crawford because Crawford said he wants anybody, including you, now. You brought up Garcia and Sean Porter before then. If there was somehow some way to make a fight against Crawford beforehand, would you do that, or is it automatic that Garcia-Porter winner is next?
If it's some fight, it's some way to make that fight happen, some way. We got to get past the politics. We got to get past, him on ESPN, I'm on Showtime.
Right.
Everything it's a lot that stops that fight.
Hold on, Errol Spence, you want some help? Do you need me to talk to the honchos? You want some help? Is that what's getting in the way? You and Crawford, is politics on that level? Do I need to make some calls or have some conversations for you?
Yeah, you gotta make a few calls, a few text messages, man, to make that fight happen.
Here's my problem, Errol Spence. Listen, man, I've loved Crawford at 140. I love you at 147. I've been on the record. I said before, you'll beat them all. I think you'd beat Thurman. I think you'd beat Garcia. I think you'd beat Porter. I think you'd beat them all. My thing is this. You and Crawford, in terms of your boxing ability, listen, I'd give you the edge because you bigger and stronger than natural 147. But in terms of just overall boxing skills, I think y'all are pretty close. What do you say to that?
Yeah. Overall boxing skills, we are pretty close. I feel like, I do have a great skill set, and that's what a lot of people, kind of overshadow because of my size and, my size. They say, oh, he's a big welterweight. That's why he beat Terrence Crawford. I don't have a skill set. So, that plays a big factor too. A lot of people talking about, skills versus size. Skills always wins. Okay, what happens when you fight a bigger guy with the same skill set you have, who wins then? So, I feel like I hold all the advantages in that standpoint.
I got to admit, Errol, I look at you and you're rock solid and you are bigger than, you get into the ring and you just look naturally stronger than practically everybody you fight. You got to concede that. I wouldn't say that so much with Kell Brook, but you beat him up. You beat him up pretty bad after he had gotten beat up in terms of his eye by Triple G, but you beat him up pretty bad. But for the most part, when I've watched you against fighters, you do look like the bigger, stronger fighter. Even when they all in your weight division, same size, obviously, you look a little bit bigger and stronger.
I am. I feel like I'm the stronger guy. I've always been like that. Even in the amateurs, when I was fighting at 152, I was usually, the bigger. Even if I wasn't bigger, I was stronger than a lot of these guys. The guys I spar now, the head dude that I spar, he fights at 170, 175. And when I spar him, he weighed around 190. He's 8-0. He's a pro.
Right.
And I always got to spar bigger guys because I smaller guys, they can't take, the punishment that I dish out.
But why do you subject yourself to that punishment from those bigger dudes? What the hell are you thinking about? Why are you doing that to yourself? Why?
Nah, I'm usually not taking that much punishment. I'm giving the punishment out.
Okay. I got you. I understand. Listen, before I let you get on out of here, a couple of more things. This kid, Charlo, talk to me about him. The kid, him and his brother look special. Talk to me about Charlo. Talk to me about him. What are your thoughts?
I've been knowing them since they're from Houston. I'm from Dallas. I've been knowing them since the amateurs. Basically, grew up in the amateurs together, and they can fight. Jamel, he trained by my coach, and we basically have our training camps together. And I know his skill set firsthand. And Jamal, he's just, dude, at 160, he's a monster. His skill set is unlimited. He can box, he can move, he can punch, and they both have great jabs. So now I see Jamel dominating 154-pound division. I see Jamal dominating 160-pound division. And, like I said, they've been putting people out, been putting people to sleep.
Yeah, but why would you train with Jamel and giving him some insight into you? You're at 147. You ain't that far away from him. You could be giving him tips where he could possibly take you out down the line because you're showing him a little bit of something. Wouldn't you say?
Nah, it's enough people. It's enough boxers out there. We don't have to fight each other. I don't see why, I would have to fight Jamel. So I don't think we'll ever fight each other. I don't think we'll ever need to fight each other. Because I'll be at 147 for a while. For me to clean out the whole 147 division, it's probably going to take about 2 years. And, for him to clean out 154, probably take him a while, too, and then he'll move up to 160. So,
all right.
Then I'll come up to 154.
Let me ask you this question. Jamal at 160, right? You think he's going to be a monster in that division, correct? Is that what you said?
Jamal would beat Triple G at 160. He'll beat Canelo at 160.
I was getting ready to ask you that. Are you saying that man is going to beat Triple G and Canelo Alvarez?
I guarantee you Triple G won't fight Jamal Charlo.
He won't fight him?
I'd be surprised if he take that fight.
Really? And you're saying, listen, damn it, you're saying if it happened that Jamal Charlo would beat Triple G and Canelo Alvarez. I'm quoting you here, Errol Spence Jr. I'm quoting you.
If I have Jamal Charlo would beat Triple G and Canelo Alvarez.
Oh, I'm going to quote you on that.
I'm willing to bet on that,
I'm going to quote you on that. I'll be looking for you. Before I let you.
I'll bet you.
But I ain't going to bet because I got to watch Jamal. You got me intrigued about Jamal now. I got to watch before I make that bet. I ain't trying to lose any money. You making more money than me, man. I'm not betting you unless I know I'm going to win. I'm just not going to do it. Errol Spence Jr., IBF welterweight champion right here with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio. Before I let you go, what is this I heard about behind my back? You be imitating me. What's this I heard about that?
Oh, yeah, man. I do a little imitations of you.
You do a little imitation to me? I don't usually allow this, Errol Spence Jr., but go ahead. I want to see whether you can imitate me or not.
Man, don't put me on the spot, man.
I'm putting you on the spot, man. You imitate me behind my back? Go ahead. Give it to me.
I'm a big fan. Hey, you want me to imitate you?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I talked to LeBron James personally. He told me that he's staying in Cleveland. He's not leaving.
I'll take it, bro. I'll take it. Listen, man, congratulations. Keep doing your thing. And by the way, it would be nice if you end up fighting Crawford or somebody like that. The $1 billion playpen, Jerry World. I mean, you got a home court advantage, so I don't know if that would be great, but I'd love to see you fight in front of 90,000 people. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah, it definitely could.
All right, my man. Congratulations, man. We'll talk soon.
Appreciate that.
Take it easy. The one and only Errol Spence Jr., the IBF welterweight champion of the world, looking to unify the belts. Terrence Crawford he's looking to do that as well. Of course, Danny Garcia and Shane Porter going to do something. Keith Thurman, where the hell are you? Where are you? I mean, I know you're hurt, but damn. I mean, this is the age of technology and medicine and all. You ain't healthy yet? Hurry up. I want to see Keith Thurman in the ring with these guys. Let's unify the welterweight crown. I'm picking Errol Spence Jr. to do that, by the way. But I reserve the right to modify that as I watch Terrence Crawford. I'm just saying. More to Stephen A. Smith Show on ESPN Radio in a minute.
Everyone in the neighborhood knew about Bobby. Bobby, the basketball boy, they called him. Bobby wanted to go pro someday, so he was always out in the driveway shooting hoops. But one day, his mom came out and told him, "Hey, your wife wants you to take out the trash." His mom was visiting, and Bobby was a grown man. He had kind of missed his window. Plus, no one had ever seen him actually make a basket. But on the other hand, Bobby had heard how Geico could save him money on car insurance, so he switched and saved. So it was all good.
You're listening to the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
Let's go back to the phones. Let's go to Dell in San Antonio. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, Dell?
Good day, sir.
How are you?
Enjoy your presentation and your passion.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Hey, with Kawhi, the way I look at it, it just seems like he doesn't have much backbone, or he has a low tolerance of pain. And I know there's all kinds of questions as to what has happened between him and the Spurs organization. Mm-hmm. And my hopes are slowly fading away that something can be done about it, because we had heard here that Popovich was even going to go and talk to LeBron to try to bring him down here to play alongside Kawhi Leonard and Aldridge. Right. And that would have been quite a combination.
No question about it. But let me ask you this question. You're living in San Antonio right now, right? That's where you call it from,
yes,
correct?
Sir.
Okay. Why are y'all just looking at Kawhi? I'm not saying there's no reason. I'm not saying he's not at fault here, because as we learn more, it seems like he could be handling things a hell of a lot better and differently. But why isn't it a situation where you guys are looking at the San Antonio Spurs and asking yourself how that organization handled Kawhi? Could it be that y'all were spoiled by Tim Duncan And because of that, and he was a superstar that allowed the Spurs to be the Spurs lock, stock, and barrel, that any modification in approach was something that they were averse to. And as a result, that's what turned Kawhi Leonard off. Is that possible? Does anybody like that think like that in San Antonio?
That is possible because we had David Robinson, and then David Robinson on to Tim Duncan, and then we had Kawhi, and we figured that the succession would just keep on going the way it did.
Mm-hmm.
And there's definitely things out there that do point to maybe Popovich and Buford or whatever did not handle the things going on with Kawhi the way they should have.
Okay. All right. I appreciate the call. Thank you so much. Let's go to Dave in New York. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, Dave?
Hey, what's up, Steven?
I'm good.
Hey, check it out, man. As far as the Cavs, I want to speak about the Spurs too, but as far as the Cavs, man, I think that they're gonna trade that ace pick to the Spurs, ship Kevin Love out, and you do a sign and trade with the guy number one for the Cavs. I forgot his name from Duke. You know what I mean? And draft Colin Sexton and send the 3 package over there.
That's a little bit, you all over the place right now. I do like the idea of trading a pick and Kevin Love to San Antonio for Kawhi. San Antonio, one might wonder that San Antonio might consider something like that. I doubt it, but it's possible.
I'm not done though. I'm it's a little more interested, but they can get Patty Mills and Kawhi Leonard with that. And as far as, everybody keeps skipping over David Robinson, the Admiral. He set the culture there, him and George Gervin. So, I mean, when they mentioned
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? They put the coach in there. What does that have to do with anything?
They're talking about the way that Kawhi Leonard should conduct himself.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is Tim Duncan, it's not that nobody recognizes that David Robinson came before Tim Duncan, but David Robinson was gone by 1997, 1998 or so. Actually, 99. We're talking Tim Duncan's been there the last 18, 19 years.
Oh, you're talking more recent.
No, take it easy, bro. Take it easy. Have a good day. Gotta go. Mike in the Bronx, you're live with Stephen A. What's up? Mike in the Bronx, you're live with Stephen A. Go ahead, buddy.
Yes, there you go, Stephen. I can hear you now.
Go ahead, man.
What's the deal? All right. Listen, I got to confirm what Errol Spence actually said.
Okay.
Listen, Jamal Charlo is that dude. And
at 160. At 160.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, and you'd have thought I was crazy if I had said it first. But I'm telling you, he's that dude. I'll tell you one more guy. Jamie Munguia, who beat the local kid, Saddam Ali. He's 29-0 and with 25 KOs. He's a ringer. You got to watch him.
Now who's this kid?
Jamie Munguia.
Munguia. Which division?
Oh, middleweight. He just beat Saddam Ali.
Okay. Yeah, Saddam Ali never moved me though. But
I know.
Munguia and Charlo, you're telling me, are the two dudes in the middleweight division.
You better believe it.
All right. And
yes.
You're saying that both of them would beat Triple G?
No. I didn't say Munguia. I'm saying Charlo is definitely that dude that would beat Triple G and Canelo. Question.
And Canelo.
No question.
All right. Now let me ask you this. What if Canelo doesn't fight at 160? What if he just came up to 160 to fight Triple G, but he goes down to 154 to fight the other Charlo?
Other Charlo is nice too. I really think Jamal is nicer. I think Jamel, and that's a pick 'em fight right there, Stephen.
Wow. Listen, I know the Charlos, they are impressive, no doubt about it, but I ain't hear anybody say they'd beat both Triple G. And now, needless to say, Daniel Jacobs ain't even a part of the equation then. He ain't even part of the equation.
Only because, I like Daniel Jacobs, man. Okay. He's a great guy. He can hit, but his chin is a bit suspect.
Well, he only got knocked out once, and that was after he lost his grandma and wasn't focused. It's the only time he got knocked out.
Yeah, but I want to tell you, though.
And then they found out he had cancer.
No. I understand all of that.
Okay.
And that's a factor.
Okay.
I just want to tell you, those two guys I just mentioned, they're beasts, and they are coming. I'm telling you.
Okay. All right, Mike. I appreciate it. The Charlo brothers. The Charlos. Ooh. It's getting tight. getting tight.
Guess what? You're in the middle of the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
Damn it, I mean it.
Back to the phones we go before we get on out of here. The Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio. Let's go to Matthew in Dallas. You're live with Stephen A. Talk to me, Matthew.
Hey, man. Just calling in because I've been hearing all this stuff about the Lakers and free agency, but I haven't heard much about CP3 going to the Lakers, and I know LeBron and him are...
That is because CP3 made news because the reports we're getting, and we've been getting for weeks, is that there's no way in hell he's leaving Houston. He's very happy in Houston. He's not leaving.
But and also if the Lakers were to only land either Kawhi or Paul George, which one do you think would be better to help LeBron actually get to another championship?
Me personally, I think it's Paul George. I think Kawhi helps you because he helps on the defensive end of the floor as well. But I also think Kawhi's presence might impede the development of Kuzma because you may not play them together if LeBron and Kawhi is there. But if LeBron and Paul George is there, and you know, you could put them on the court with Kuzma and you don't lose anything and everything's all right. But that's just me. Appreciate the call. John in Delaware, you're live with Stephen A. What's up, John?
Hey, Mr. Smith, how you doing, sir?
I'm all right. Go ahead.
Really quick, I just want to comment. I love your show, First Take. You, Max, and Molly are awesome.
Thank you.
I agree with you. You were on the line last week, talking about Jordan. Listen, you're right. There's no way LeBron's better than Jordan, and I'm a LeBron James fan. I love him to death, but there's no question. Really quick, I know there's been talks about LeBron going to Philly, which I would love because I'm a Sixers fan. Well, I used to be when AI was there. But what's going on with Boston, Mr. Smith? I keep hearing him maybe going to Boston, but him and Kyrie don't get along. So how would that work?
First of all, it wouldn't happen, number one. Number two, if it were to happen, I think it's because Kyrie would be gone because Danny Ainge would move him up out of there because there's some questions about his knees and the health of his knees. And that's why there's a debate as to how much Kyrie is worth. If Kyrie is healthy, Kyrie is a $200 million player in this day and age. Remember, only Steph Curry has a championship. CP3 is there. He don't have a championship. Russell Westbrook is there. He don't have a championship. Kyrie has a championship. So if Kyrie were healthy, Kyrie would be worth every penny as much as those guys. The problem is that his knees are always questionable, and that's the trepidation about him. But I got to go. Appreciate the call. Daryl in Nashville, you're live with Stephen A. Real quick, Daryl, go ahead.
Yeah, Stephen A. I'm a diehard Lakers fan, and I just wanted to ask you, if we weren't able to get LeBron James, I'm kind of leaning towards us not doing that because he's so old and played so many finals games. If Paul George was there with us this season, with the addition of somebody like DeMarcus Cousins, push us over the top with Paul George.
Ooh, here's the problem. I don't think DeMarcus Cousins works in that system. I think DeMarcus Cousins is better off in some place like Washington with the Wizards with Bradley Beal and John Wall. I don't think he works better in that system. I think Paul George with the other pieces that you have, I think you're a better team. You're probably a 500 team, a 7th or 8th seed in the playoffs, but that's about it. Joe in San Antonio, you got 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Does the distraction of LeVar Ball outweigh the play of Lonzo for future Lakers and free agency?
No, I don't think so because I think LeVar Ball stopped being a distraction the second he went to Lithuania. And I think the specter of his son getting traded out of L.A. will scare him enough where, you know what, he's going to speak his mind, but I think he'll pick his spots a lot better, and I don't think he'll be nearly as noisy as he was Lonzo.